Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman by heading over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Hello everyone.
Hello!
Welcome to an episode of Hypecast!
Hypecast.
The show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
Hypecast. I'm the other co-host, David Bell.
And now you.
Hello, yes, I am the guest. My name is Daniel O'Brien. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, Daniel.
I paused a little bit in the beginning because I don't think our listeners are privy to this, but you guys both do a subtle shift in your voices when the podcast starts. Because we were talking before the actual podcast. Yeah, it's not like you're not doing like 90s radio announcer voice or anything like that, but there's definitely like a professional shift that happens. You have like podcaster voices. That's real cool.
Well, it's Hypecast. We want to get people pumped up.
Yeah.
When me and Tom...
We have to sound like the authorities that we are on hype.
Yeah.
So.
Right, otherwise no one will believe that you're hyped.
Precise. Exactly. Yeah.
When me and Tom do these on our own, it's like, man, when we stop recording, it's dark, you know? We're just like, I'm so sick of you. And then we hang up, and that's it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, as soon as we start recording, though, it's like we get possessed.
Yeah.
We don't want to sound like hype frauds.
Yeah, we're real pros. How you doing?
Yeah.
What you been up to?
How you doing?
I've been doing well. I've been, let's see. I've been running a lot. I've been working on the show that I've been working for the last couple of years. It's Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Everybody check it out.
What's that program? I've not heard of it.
It's so you know Mortal Kombat on Hbo Max?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
This is one of the other things you can watch if you get HBO Max. If your subscription says you're not allowed to watch Mortal Kombat again, then you fall back on this as like, I guess I have to kill time somehow until HBO Max allows me to watch Mortal Kombat again. So I guess I'll watch 30 minutes of a fancy British man telling you about how you're recycling wrong. I've not seen the show. I hope that's a fair description of it.
That's a smart move. It's a smart move for HBO to put something out specifically to fill the gap in between hours I spend watching Mortal Kombat.
Because sometimes you need a break. Sometimes. Like every couple of days, I need like a break, and that's where Last Week Tonight fits in. Yeah. All right. Well, welcome.
We're doing great, guys.
Hey.
This is thank you
all right.
so much for having me. This is again.
Thank you for doing it again. I'm always kind of scared to ask you to be on shows because I'm always like, well, Dan's too busy. He's not gonna want to do anything.
That in his temper.
Yeah, that's a more reasonable fear. That's an earned fear. I think. I'm never too busy. Like this is. I think I mentioned it the last time that you guys had me on this podcast. Is that I've never been able to substitute one of my favorite things to do, which is come in at the start of every work week and talk to you guys about movies, which is how I started my work week for years and years at our shared old job. And now there's been no outlet for that because my current coworkers don't wake up every morning and see what trailers are new and then subsequently watch every movie that comes out.
John Oliver famously hates movies, too.
Absolutely.
So that must be difficult at the workplace.
We really did kind of just, our pivot
with podcasts. We were like, you know how we talk about movies all the time?
What if we just record that?
What if we just record it, and then it's fine?
And then it's a show.
Yeah, I forget that that's like a privilege to just get to bullshit about movies. And people want to listen. I mean, we just talked about Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
I just like sat down and I was like, I have to watch Dirty Dancing for work.
58 minutes. We talked a long time about Dirty Dancing.
I mean, it deserves it.
That's true. Yeah.
Dirty Dancing.
We should probably name some producers. We should probably actually start the show.
Okay. All right, we started the show.
I mean, it began.
All right. Well, we got a new producer this week. Big thanks to Jake.
Love it, Jake.
Jake. Thank you, Jake.
Keeping it
nice
simple.
And easy. Yes. Especially because of our next patron to thank. Thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Silico Volcanoconiosis Jones. Thank you very much for that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to the baby from Eraserhead. Thank you. Thank you to Chiz Lily Tits. Thank you. Always a pleasure. Thank you to Martial Law. Thank you very much. Thank you to These 7 Bs. Thank you to Ruizi. Thank you so much.
If I go too long without talking, I start to lose interest in what's happening. So I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna take some of these long as that's all right. I know this is your house. You guys are the dads, but I'm gonna jump in. And I want to thank personally Davey Francis for the revenge, and I'd also love to thank MVB. Thank you, MVB. And I want to thank Phaedrus. And me, I want to thank Ryan, the silly money goose. And I also want to thank Chester's Prophet. And, of course, got to thank definitely not Guillermo del Toro.
Definitely not. There's no question about it.
Yeah, absolutely not him. Let me jump in here. Thanks to Brian, who Tom knows. Thank you to Bob Grenville. Sure. Thank you to
Bob.
Steven.
Thank
you to Down Home Chicken. Thank you to Han Toomey, the confused cyborg. I suppose it could be any chicken sound. They don't specify.
It could just be pecking.
Any chicken. It could be the shuffling of little chicken feet. We don't know.
Yeah, I did some light chicken, and Dave did the unmistakable sound of a chicken thinking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you to Asking Seven. Thank you to Fuck You, I'm Happy Ed.
Yeah, he is.
Thank you to I Was Bored to Stare. Thank you to Dracula the Bus Driving Vampire. Thank you to Tiger George Pratt Thompson. Not singing it. Raindrops keep falling on my head, though. Thanks to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
And thank you to the Kool-Aid Man. Says, get your vaccine. COVID sucks. I have proof.
Show us that proof, Kool-Aid Man.
Many of us have proof.
That's fair.
It's out there.
No, it's all out there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about trailers.
You talk about trailers? All right.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about trailers?
Sure.
Okay, good. The first one's for Pixar's Luca. This is the mermaid. This is the movie Spring, but for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Two mermaids appear to be able to transform into humans. I guess that's mermaid rules.
In this movie, I suppose. I don't think it's like real life. Well, not real life. Weird thing to say. I don't think that's like traditional mermaid rules.
No.
That's definitely appears to be the case in this film.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I was very excited for it. I growing up with the Pixar movies, I have certainly enjoyed that they seemed to philosophically age with what feels like our age group, and they've moved from like, what if toys were real, and like let's live with bugs, to long, often sad ruminations about mortality, and like most recently, where does a soul come from, and what does that mean, and what are our personalities built on? And I really loved sort of growing with these movies, but I find this sort of return to just what looks like a fun fairy tale story, like not to hit a nail too hard on the head, but a real fish out of water tale here. Really lovable and charming. It's like as much as I've enjoyed, again, the evolution of Pixar movies, I don't need to keep going in that direction where I need another like sobering meditation on loss or free will. Like, I like that this looks like, at least, it's going to be, what if a fish monster turned into a human and hung out in Italy for a while and met a human girl. And then, like, the girl's dad is a fisherman. Like, cool. This is just a fucking fun little fable with monsters, and I'm so happy. I think there's room for both Pixar's deep considerations of the soul and what our purpose in life is, and also what if fish monster and human became friends and had hijinks.
You say that. Yeah, you say that, but it's always rolling the dice. Like, I agree with you. I'm pretty sure this is going to be like a Monsters University situation where they're like, we're just doing a kids movie.
Yeah.
It looks fun and delightful. But you never know. They tend to like it seems easy to tell. Because when Pixar's like, we're just having fun versus like, this is about souls, and you're like, oh great. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
It really is. Like, anytime a new Pixar trailer comes, you see Pixar, like the studio logo come up on screen, you're like, oh Christ, this could go in
which one is going to
go in two directions.
The one that Onward was the one where they're like, it's a world of like fantasy creatures and also dead fathers, and you're like, oh. Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, I guess
you had me for a second.
It does look like a fun fish monster movie, but you're right. It could, like, it's very possible that in Act 2 of the movie, we sort of zoom out and find the protagonist is just like in an institution drawing pictures of fish monsters, and the doctor's like, yeah, he's been escaping to this fantasy world ever since he fucking killed his sister in that drunk driving accident. Like, oh no!
Exactly.
It's pulling a Saint elsewhere on us.
Because there are, like, remember, Up wasn't advertised as being a sad movie.
No.
It went ahead and
so then you
curtains raised, they just punch you in the gut immediately.
You don't see his wife in those trailers.
Yeah.
So when the movie starts and, like, you see this character come in, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. So who can really say? I will say I really like the humor in this trailer. I like the buddy situation. I like his friend that's like just being a real dickhead.
Yeah.
Just being reckless and wild. I don't know. It does seem like it's just going to be a lot of fun, but who the hell knows?
Also, one of them fish monsters is going to eat somebody, right? Like that's
they better. What else do they eat?
Otherwise, what are we even doing this for?
Right. It's about how we eat them, and so maybe it's them learning that they can eat us.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Now the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Like that cat. Surely they would eat that cat. They're a fish monster.
Yeah, of course. Right. And it's sort of like the inevitable next step in fish out of water comedies is like, he thinks he's supposed to put the pots and the pans on his head like a hat. Ha ha ha. He thinks he's supposed to brush his teeth with soap. Ha ha ha. Oh shit, he ate the cat. Oh no. Oh, that was our family cat.
That's
all right.
It's like literally the plot of The Shape of Water.
Man. It's weird. Here's a question. Are movies about mermaids? There's more movies about us having sex with them than there are like kids movies about mermaids, right?
I don't know. It depends on where you make the distinction between those two genres.
Well, there's like The Little Mermaid in this, and then there's like Splash, The Shape of Water, The Lighthouse.
I mean,
Spring.
Isn't The Little Mermaid ultimately just about people wanting to have sex with mermaids?
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that is kind of the plot of that.
Yeah, I think that's squarely in the camp of Disney. Is like, no one's going to tell anyone if we make our movie super horny, right? Okay, good.
Yeah,
it's for kids, but like
we're all just going to pretend like it's not happening.
Yeah. It's weird. I think this is also. I mean, they're all Disney's, Pixar's, Luca. Or Disney's Pixar's blank, but I can't tell what their deal was that they made, because it does feel like some of these feel more like we're using our Disney staff and some of them feel more like they're using their Pixar staff, but I'm not actually sure if there is even such a thing anymore for them or if they all mushed together.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know. No one's keeping up on the Disney Pixar merger.
I mean, people are, just nobody that's on this podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure someone's got a bunch of names written down somewhere.
Yeah. Somebody's keeping a spreadsheet somewhere.
As long as someone's keeping track of them. You want to talk about this next trailer? The Tomorrow War?
Yeah.
We're all set with Chris Pratt, right?
Here's what I had written in my notes.
Okay.
What do I want from Chris Pratt? It's not this.
Yeah. Just show up, be a Star-Lord, and that's it.
I think that's it. And I obviously loved him in Parks and Rec, and I enjoy him as Star-Lord. He's very fun in that. I think he's like a naturally hilarious person. I'm thrilled for him that he got yoked. He seems happy, and it's given him a lot of career opportunities. But I see him in this movie where he's got his serious face on and he's walking around with a gun and he's pointing at stuff, and it's like, no, this isn't the thing that's going to get me in a theater.
Yeah, that's like the least interesting version of Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything to really offer as the serious character, and he doesn't seem like, I don't know, I never watched Parks and Rec, so I don't have that affection for him through that, but like he seems like someone who's given funny lines versus someone who is a funny person, I guess, but I don't know. But
that's so interesting, because I feel like I've like your exposure to this guy is like Jurassic World and the Marvel movies. Oh boy,
you're kind of not really. It's weird. You're seeing like his two biggest projects, but that's not really him at his best. Like in Parks,
also the
in Parks and Rec, he plays
film
like this.
Wanted.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Sure.
Yeah.
In Parks and Rec, he's like this childlike kind of buffoonish character. He plays it very well. I think he is naturally funny. It's just he's getting movies that use the blockbuster version of that, which is like quippy guy, or movies like this where he's just stone-faced action guy. And that's not only is that the least interesting version of Chris Pratt, I think that's like the least interesting version of any performer is stone-faced action hero, because it's like, that's boring. Give us something.
You know what? He needs to Sandler out. He needs to act. Like I've never seen him act, or at least it doesn't feel that way. And what I mean by that, of course, is like do like a drama, do something that shows that he has range. Like, I guess it's just because he just shows up in these movies, and that's kind of it. And these movies don't, like this Tomorrow War. It's called the Tomorrow War.
Yeah, right. And I have no fucking idea what it's about, really, based on this trailer.
It sounds like a poster that you'd see in 30 Rock. You know, like it looks like just a parody of a sci-fi action starring Chris Pratt. Just not doing much of anything.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have anything against him. I just, besides Star-Lord, he hasn't been in anything that I felt was any good. But yeah, I don't. They're fighting the enemy in the future.
Yeah, like Alien. It is the War of Tomorrow. Or whatever, whatever the fuck it's called. I've already forgotten what it's called.
The Tomorrow War.
Tomorrow War. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oof, that sucks.
It's a worse title. It's like, come on. Ugh. Like everything about this is so extremely bland, and then it's like coming to Amazon Prime. It's like, Christ, all right. Like,
I'm happy that it's on Amazon Prime, because that is, for me personally, historically, that's the hardest for me to accidentally watch something, or to accidentally be confronted with something that I don't feel like watching. Like if I'm on, like Netflix is pretty good about like, hey, you might want this documentary about an art heist. And I'm like, all right, I'll watch that. And HBO similarly, but like Amazon Prime, I so despise that interface that I'm almost never interacting with it. And it's too dumb to just feed me some piece of trash that I wouldn't otherwise seek out. So I might go my whole life without seeing Tomorrow War, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but the synopsis, wait till you hear the synopsis that I just looked up, which is a man is drafted to fight in a future war where the fate of humanity relies on his ability to confront his past. So there you go. That's huge.
Yeah, that can stay in
a lot of information.
Whatever fucking arcane corner of Amazon Prime they decide to put.
There is, all right, I did just find another detail that actually is like, oh, okay. It's directed by Chris McKay, who did the Lego Movie.
Oh, I mean, you can say he did the Lego Movie, but that's a Lord and Miller joint.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, I'm reading this wrong. He worked on the Lego Movie. He worked on Robot Chicken and Moral Oral, but also the Lego Batman movie, which I guess there's a big difference there, isn't it? He's also going to be doing the Johnny Quest and Nightwing movies. So
sure,
do with that what you will. You know, put that in the old brain.
I mean, I never want to step on anyone's success. I believe this person, whom I've just heard of for the first time tonight, worked very hard, and I'm really happy for him. This must be huge for his whole family. But when I hear the amount of things that he's working on next, I just feel like we can spread some of this wealth around. Give Johnny Quest to... There's got to be some other... Calling my shot here, white guy who likes comics and TV who can direct this movie for you when this Chris guy is busy.
Yeah, he's busy making Tomorrow Wars.
Yeah.
The Tomorrow War. There's only one war, Tom.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch this movie.
Until the sequel.
Yeah, that's true. And then the sequel will be the Tomorrow Wars. Yeah, this, I don't know, man. Maybe it's an amazing film. Right now it looks generic as shit.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to the Misfits. Speaking of generic, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think of this? I didn't see Danzig once.
Well, the thing that really jumped out to me is the fact that it's directed by Rennie Harlan.
Rennie Harlan.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I know.
Right, they'd say Cliffhanger in the
Cliffhanger and Die Hard 2. It's Rennie Harlan directing Pierce Brosnan, putting together like an Ocean's 11 heist team that includes Nick Cannon making racist jokes throughout the trailer to fucking rob Tim Roth.
Here are my two major thoughts on this trailer. One is a broader thought that I don't think Pierce Brosnan gets enough credit. And even in my notes, I'm not even entirely sure what I mean by that. I just feel like he seems like a nice man who has a sense of humor about himself. And I feel like there's a pantheon of weird older actors who have aged into this strange realm of being beloved and like charming to a lot of audiences for sticking around so long and like not being afraid to laugh at themselves, and he is not in that category, and it bums me out a little bit.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
absolutely. I bet you wish this theory was a little bit more baked, but it's just not. I saw him on Saturday Night Live years ago, and I was thoroughly charmed by him. And I was like, this guy isn't just one of the worst James Bonds. He's like a cool, silly dude. He was in Mrs. Doubtfire. This is to borrow the language of a meme. He completely understood the assignment of Mrs. Doubtfire and played it to perfection. And just a guy who, like, he knows, I'm Pierce Brosnan. I look like Pierce Brosnan, and my name is Pierce Brosnan. I can have fun with that. And I just don't
hard into this.
I don't feel like people. I think he's ready for funnier and dumber material that just no one has given to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
He
is going to be in Black Adam, so that's going to be a comic book movie. Maybe he can, I don't know, be fun in that. He's also good in drama. He was good in The Ghost Rider, a movie that people probably shouldn't see because of the director, but he's good in it, and that's just like a thriller drama.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad.
He got to play Will Ferrell's crotchety dad in Eurovision.
Oh yeah, he was great in that.
Yeah.
And he was delightful and surprising in World's End.
Yeah.
I think he just works. You know, like he's just, I'm looking at what he's done. He just doesn't stop. He's like doing like 4 or 5 movies a year sometimes. So I think he just takes what's given to him and he kills it every time. And sometimes those things are really good movies. Yeah. Sometimes they're not.
The other detail.
By the way, this movie.
Go ahead.
Oh, go on.
No, it's a tangent.
I was just going to say this movie was written by the writer of The Negotiator. Oh wait, no, I read that wrong. Not The Negotiator, but
Lego movie.
Of yeah. Well, actually, one of the writers did the Lego movie Masters of Flight. So yes. But the other writer did Assault, Ultraviolet, Equilibrium, The Thomas Crown Affair, and adapted Sphere.
Oh, that's a real shame.
It's a real roller coaster there.
Yeah.
Sphere is one of those movies that I can't tell if it sucks shit and I'm wrong or if it rules.
It's a little bit Sphere. It's a little bit of both. Well, it's more of the former.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's more a terrible film, but also
as
it is fascinating to watch.
Yeah. As someone who loves Sphere, I recognize that it's not a good movie.
Yeah. I definitely know it's not enjoyably bad. And it's not recommend to another person good, but I don't have any bad feelings for that movie.
That's fair. It's one of the few movies to feature Huey Lewis in a speaking role. Mm-hmm. The other being the movie Duets.
Yes.
Back to the Future.
That's it.
Back to the Future.
Oh that's true, he does. He does speak in the cameo. Yeah. So there's that. I don't know, but yeah, more Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
This looks... I mean, the Rennie Harlan thing is enough for me. Yeah. I'm like, I guess I'm going to have to see this.
This looks like a 90s movie with all the positive and negative connotations that carries with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It also... This is one of those movies that comes out every once in a while. Never like a big, major splash of a movie, but it is a chilling reminder of just how... sort of fragile the differences between a movie being great and a movie being forgettable and terrible and average. Like if you can describe this movie where it's an action movie with a guy who's getting the team back together again to rob some bank, to do some heist X, and you can tell me it's got Rennie Harlan, who's got a pedigree, and you can tell me it's got Pierce Brosnan. That's a real actor. Tim Roth, holy shit, he doesn't work all the time. That's a real guy. Nick Cannon, all right, why not?
Sure.
You get a lot of these things that are like archetypes that are familiar to plenty of great movies, plenty of my favorite movies, and when you look at a page with all these ingredients on it, you're like, yeah, I can see how this is going to be a great movie. And then, I'll withhold my final judgment until I actually see it, but I'm pretty sure it won't be. And that's the kind of thing that, like, really scares me as someone who one day would like to write movies, is like, you can get a lot of the ingredients lined up, but, like, there's something about this that is, off-brand Sprite. There's something about this that is RC Cola instead of Coke that you can't quite put your finger on, but, like, I believe everyone who signed on to it was like, yeah, this has all of the ingredients for one of those movies that people like. I have no reason to think that this is going to fall apart. And then there's that, that je ne sais quoi is, that just doesn't hold things together the right way, that puts this in the bargain bin instead of on the big screen.
Right, because whatever it is, like, it's... I think that's the thing about all these movies we're talking about, is nobody, for the most part, no one single-handedly, like, ruins a movie. It's just you get all these elements, and then... Because some of the best movies have dumb screenplays. It doesn't matter if one element is dumb. If it all comes together correctly, you can make something really good. Yeah, I've definitely had that fear recently, optioning off something I wrote where it's like, this can go so many directions, and you have no control over that.
If you're the screenwriter of this, or if you're like the seventh male lead or something like that, just like some part in it that's not going to be on the top of the poster or anything, and your agent is buzzing you and it's like, Rennie Harlan's going to direct it, and you're like, holy shit, he's actually made movies before, and you're like, Pierce Brosnan's in it. Tim Roth is in it. Holy fucking shit. Nick Cannon. He's been famous for decades, Nick Cannon. He's filling the role of like the funny comedic relief sidekick. We're really going to do it. I'm looking at all these different elements that make me think like my life is going to change. This movie is on a train to success. And I just don't think that's happening. Hypothetical seventh male lead.
Right. Well, I think it's also heist movie. Heist movie is kind of a genre that we're not feeling right now.
Yeah.
Unless it's a zombie heist movie. Like clearly we need something else with it. I don't know. I just remembered the fact that they made an Exorcist movie and they gave it to the writer of fucking Taxi Driver. He made a movie and then they said, "You know what? Give it to Rennie Harlan." And that's what they did, didn't they?
They sure did.
That's the most wild fucking thing in the world.
I forgot
Why would they do that?
I forgot Paul Schrader wrote that.
Yeah, he made the first cut of it. I've seen both versions. I will say neither of them are that good, to be honest. But whatever. That was another movie where it's like, how is this not working? Like, there's something fundamentally, like, that must have been with the studio. I don't know.
Anyway.
Doesn't matter.
We should probably move on.
Yeah, let's talk about Siberia. Willem Dafoe. Just a movie about Willem Dafoe just doing, the stuff he does.
Yeah, right. Like, all I got from this trailer was Willem Dafoe and an Abel Ferrara movie. And it's like, I can't glean any other information from this trailer.
Absolutely same. The only
Looks
thing
like he's speaking to wolves at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me clear this up. I looked up the synopsis, so I'm going to clear it up right now. Official synopsis: an exploration into the language of dreams.
Uh-huh.
So I hope that clears it up.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh my God. There's a fellow who works a whole lot.
Willem?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He must just really love acting, huh?
Yeah. It's like Dave was saying about Pierce Brosnan. He's just one of those actors that's just in like 5 movies a year.
Yeah, he loves doing bizarre art house shit, and he loves like riding sharks.
Yeah,
in superhero movies. Like, it's just whatever you give him, he'll do it.
Yeah, he's like, I'll do Antichrist and then Aquaman.
Yeah, exactly. Antichrist, of course, the movie that famously he needed a stunt penis for.
Tell him why, Dave. Tell him why.
His regular penis was described as confusingly large.
Yep.
By Lars von Trier.
I was about to say his dick was so big it frightened Lars von Trier.
Yeah, that's something.
That's a pedigree.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking at, he has like 10 upcoming projects. Yeah, he doesn't stop. He will be the last actor.
Yeah.
Just ever.
It's just going to be Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. He loves this sort of bullshit, though. I've seen, like, what is it, 444, Last Day on Earth, weird art house one about the end of the world. Like, he loves these weird, artsy, like, they're like student films.
Yeah.
But then with Willem Dafoe. So I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd like to, if I ever see him on the streets of New York or something like that, I want to be like, oh man, you'd be perfect for this thing I'm working on. It's a meditation on dreams. And then he'll say yes, and then we've got a picture. It doesn't matter that I didn't write it yet. I don't think he cares. Just start filming it.
For the record, I just looked this up. The director of Last Day on Earth directed Siberia. So
all right.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. That explains a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
I know this is about a bartender who has a bar in Siberia who takes a trip to a cave. That was the most I could figure out when I was looking into this movie. So I think there is a plot, but I think it's like, is it in his head? Is it real kind of thing? Who the hell can say?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. All right. Well, next trailer. This is American Traitor, The Trial of Axis Sally. Starring Mitch Pileggi.
This is another one that fits perfectly into that category of movie that Daniel was talking about a few minutes ago with that Pierce Brosnan one. Because this has...
It's got a courtroom. It's got Nazis. It's got Al Pacino.
Al Pacino in a fucking Nazi courtroom drama. And it looks like it's like being put out by like Magnet Entertainment and Redbox Media. It's like I don't okay.
I think Al Pacino is no longer a guarantee that your movie's good, right?
Oh,
He's
he
a
hasn't.
Bruce Willis.
He hasn't been that for a long, long time.
Yeah, but it's fucking Al Pacino versus.
But it's still
Skinner.
Al Pacino. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but versus Skinner.
That's true.
They're gonna go at it. They're gonna have scenes together.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about that.
I know this. I don't even know if this is a controversial take or not, but I think Al Pacino stayed good. I think he picks bad movies because he'll just do everything.
Yes.
But I don't think he's phoning stuff in or falling off the way, say, De Niro has. No disrespect. I mean, what am I talking? Of course, disrespect. That was a disrespectful thing I said. But like I watched The Irishman a couple of times for some reason, and one of the things I kept coming back to was like Pacino is just fucking good. There's no way around it. He's smart. He's still doing like different kind of new tricks every once in a while, and I was like, yeah, Pacino, you're a real student of this.
Yeah, he's always interesting. Even when the movie around him is absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's apparently doing one of his next projects is King Lear.
Sure.
Done by the director of 1984. So that'll be a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a thing I'll want to watch, but it's definitely a thing.
It sounds like a lot of a thing, whatever thing it ends up being.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole lot of it.
Yeah, I think you're right, though, is that Al Pacino always brings it. And I don't know if that's just because what he brings is this. It's kind of the same thing, but we love it. But it is like he does kill it in The Irishman.
It's going to sound weird to say, but he's like him and Nick Cage are kind of the same, right? Like
why would you think that would be weird to say, Tom?
That I don't know. The more I think about it, the more perfect of an analogy it becomes. They're both actors who were extremely prestigious, certainly early on in their career, that have now become notorious for being extremely over the top. But every movie that you watch them in, even if it's dog shit, they're still like they showed up. Like they're you paid for Al Pacino or Nick Cage, you're gonna get them. They're there.
Yeah. You sit down, you watch Simone, you're like, well, I got Al Pacino.
I did get Al Pacino for 2 hours. You can't say that I didn't.
Yeah.
I guess the fear is sometimes you're sitting around on set and you're like, you know what's fucked up? I didn't pay for Nick Cage, but he's here.
But he's here anyway.
He's just acting over there. What do we do?
I don't know. Point the camera.
Let him work.
Hit record.
Somebody record this. Paul Giamatti stepped in there for a second.
That's fair. Paul Giamatti brings it too.
Yeah, he's another guy.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of strange films, but he's always good.
A lot of duets. God, that movie. Dan, have you seen Duets?
No. You seem to have a real strong reaction to it tonight, though.
Don't tell him anything. Just go watch
I
it.
encourage you to just watch Duets cold
right.
without reading anything about it.
Yeah. And enjoy yourself.
I will.
You know? All right. Let's talk about this West Side Story trailer.
Sure.
Yeah. So like a lot of people, I really love Steven Spielberg and West Side Story. I like Steven Spielberg. He makes he has two speeds, in my opinion. He makes like grown-up movies for kids, which I love, and he makes movies so fathers and their adult sons have something to talk about at family gatherings, which has been very helpful. When there's a strange silence at Thanksgiving, and I'm just like, Bridge of Spies, huh, Dad? Oh, Bridge of Spies.
I was about to make that exact same reference. Bridge of Spies, what a picture, what a picture.
So it's been very helpful in my life to have Spielberg doing his thing. And I love West Side Story. It's one of my early favorite movies. And I'm watching this trailer. It looks like West Side Story. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I don't think Steven Spielberg is horny enough to make this movie.
He's definitely emphasizing different things.
Yes.
For sure.
That is a good point. I don't know. Was he ever that horny?
No.
Steven Spielberg?
No, not really.
The horniest he ever was I'd say Indiana Jones, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and even that
or
movie.
E.T.
Yeah.
But yeah. Jaws is a little horny. He's not that horny.
Mm-mm.
He's not, and
Lincoln.
and West Side's he
Lincoln.
wasn't horny at all in Lincoln.
Yeah.
Amistad.
What gives?
And not that I want to make a clear distinction is that I don't need every movie to have a sex scene or anything like that, and I don't need people to be filmed in a way that is like pure objectification or anything like that. I just mean he's not horny enough. I hope that cleared things up. And West Side Story is a great many things, but it's also a horny story. It's Romeo and Juliet, and it's like the heat is an essential part of it. It's so fucking hot. It's hot enough that you want to murder a whole other race about it. Like, that's your thing.
Right.
That's how fucking hot it gets, and everyone's just like sweaty and uncomfortable in their bodies, and some people get so hot that it becomes violent, and some people get so hot that it's just horny, and that's pretty integral to the whole deal. And I don't know if Spielberg, I won't speak to anything going on in his private life, but I don't know if he's got he hasn't so far shown that he can truly represent horniness on screen, in my opinion.
He doesn't even do love stories. This kind of reminds me of when Lucas did the prequels and had to deal with a huge love story thread, and it became very clear that Lucas didn't know how humans worked.
Yeah.
And it is kind of similar, where I can't think of another movie he's done that's dealt with that kind of subject. I mean, he's great at creating these emotional experiences. That's the thing. He's kind of the Al Pacino of directing, where it's you always know you're going to get something great.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bad movie. There's going to be at least one shot or one sequence where you're like, that's really good. So for that reason, I'm excited for this. But you're right in that, it could be a miss. I mean, he's had misses before.
Yeah.
That's interesting. He's very good at I don't know, because he's really good at having genuine moments in his films, human moments.
Yeah.
But he's never really dealt with a love story that I can think of.
Yeah, I love his movies, and I don't want to come down too hard on them. Again, it's just the horny thing, because I do think he understands humans, and he really knows how to make me feel a lot of things. I don't think he's an alien. The alien director who's so far from horny, he's an alien to me. The goat of that is always going to be Christopher Nolan, where any kiss that I've ever seen in a Chris Nolan movie, I was like, man, did someone put a gun to your head and make you force Joseph Gordon-Levitt to kiss someone in this film? Jesus. It's okay. You don't like when men and women touch each other. It's fine. You don't have to put it in your movies, buddy.
Nolan might be an android.
He has to be.
He's the director that if they came out and they're like, look, he's an algorithm we made up. This is an actor for his public appearances. It would be like, that all makes sense.
Yeah, it would. He's more of a brand than he is a filmmaker.
Yeah. But I don't know. You might. I think you're right. I'm still very excited. for
I'm
this.
still gonna watch it. I mean, my big hang up is it's been delayed for a while, obviously because of the pandemic and then the 20th Century Fox merger. Disney almost killed this project, I think.
Oh.
Wow.
Because they almost cut, I think, every Fox movie that was in production after the merger. I believe
even
so.
Spielberg, they're like, I don't know.
It's Disney,
Steven.
man. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. They really don't. Is this his first musical?
I don't believe so, but I'm not positive.
Because that alone is exciting, because, again, he's a really good visual director, and musicals need that. It's kind of like when Scorsese made that kids movie.
Hugo.
Hugo, where it was like, I can't freaking wait to see that. Because it's a combination of two things that I think would go really well together. Spielberg and musicals feel like it goes really well together, too.
Yeah,
the only thing I can think of is
I can't think of
Temple
any other...
of Doom's opening.
Yeah,
That's it.
I can't think of any
I don't
other,
believe that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of any other
musical he's done. I think this is
I can't either off the top of my head.
The bummer is that the lead is Ansel Elgort.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I loved Baby Driver, and this is like such a shallow and shitty thing to say. I don't think he's ugly necessarily. I think he's got just a strange look that I think is weird, and he's kind of, I guess, supposed to be like, he's definitely supposed to be a heartthrob in this movie, but I it doesn't make sense to me when I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound. Look at him.
Well, that wasn't the direction I was going, and he has he's a sex creep.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, there it is. There's his Wikipedia.
He's a sex creep.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Well then.
Oh yeah.
Well then.
And it's a
fucking
situation.
Cancel the whole movie.
Yeah, I think that was probably, it must have been a discussion because it was delayed even further after the merger. And it's not a Christopher Plummer situation. Where like,
oh, what if?
Well, I mean, it's because they were able to
get Christopher in there.
Yeah,
fucking
bring him back,
tag him in.
dig him up.
Tag him in.
No, Ridley. What I'm talking about is, I think, what was it called? All the Money in the World, something like that. There was a movie a couple of years ago where Kevin Spacey played a supporting role.
That Getty picture.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, he played Jay. Yeah.
That Getty picture. I'm from 1938, by the way.
That Getty picture. Yeah,
Kevin Spacey in that Getty picture.
Yeah, they got Kevin Spacey in there. Use your computers to wizard him out of there and replace him with Christopher Plummer. So that's what they did. Kevin Spacey, a lot of terrible allegations came up, so they just replaced him with Christopher Plummer, and it's because he was only in a few scenes they were able to do that. This dude is in the entire movie, so you can't really do that.
Also, I guess Baby Driver, real hard rewatch now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, already a hard rewatch, now a really hard rewatch.
Now it's, like, really tough.
Yeah. Man, yeah.
So they really kind of bury him in this trailer, I think.
Yeah.
They focus more on the setting and, like, the mood of West Side Story than any of the characters, at least not him. So I think they're maybe trying to hide it. I don't know.
Right. Hide the fact that their main character is this guy.
I mean,
because I didn't even notice him in the trailer until you pointed him out.
Yeah. I mean, they could do whatever they want in the trailer. When people get to the movie, they're going to see Tony.
They're going to see him. Yeah. It's
going to come out.
I'll be cheering even harder for Chino.
Yeah.
When he fucking shoots him in the end.
Spoilers
for West Side Story.
Spoilers, Tom. All right, let's talk about our final trailer. We waited last because we knew everybody, was waiting for it. Ape versus Monster.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why did you
guys excited?
Why did you do this?
You know what? What I thought when I watched King Kong and Godzilla?
What'd you think?
I thought too subtle. Let's just Why don't we boil this down to its components and just make it Ape versus Monster, and then thank God someone did.
I love that they didn't even try with this title.
It's Asylum. What are they going to do?
Ape versus, I don't know, Monster?
Yeah.
Like, there was one draft, an earlier draft of this movie was 1,000% called Ape versus Lizard, and they were like, we can't call it that. People won't know the giant. Well, what if we say Monster? There you go.
I have a
pictures now.
First of all, I just looked up the cast. Eric Roberts is in this movie.
Yeah, you see
I thought I saw him.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Eric Roberts. Good for you. You get on in there. You get in Ape versus Monster.
I will say...
Is Asylum...
This was
sorry. Your thing.
This is a very... I compared this to Misfits in my head a lot because this is such a... apart from the special effects, very... competently made trailer, because I thought Misfits had a lot of the parts of what a good movie could be, but I'm watching the trailer and I'm just like, the pacing of this trailer is wrong. It's a heist movie with recognizable people. This should be a walk in the park, but I don't know, it's 2.5 minutes or whatever. It certainly felt long. And then Ape versus Monster, just like, you are hitting the beats of a trailer for this kind of movie. I'm not fooled. You know, it very much feels like children made a fake movie trailer for a school project. But like you've seen enough trailers that you know how to cut one together, and you know what lines to land on for it.
Yeah, I guarantee this, and I'm pretty sure that this and most other Asylum movies, they write it trailer first.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
They write the trailer based on trailer beats, and then they just fucking put the rest, because they know the trailer is what's going to get people to rent the movie. These movies live on, people just seeing the title and being like, yeah, let's rent Ape versus Monster. That'd be funny.
I always thought it was like based on people who are so drunk they can't quite see well, and they accidentally pick it.
I'm sure that's probably a factor, but I know ironic watching is also something they absolutely factor in.
They dumb down their effects, don't they? Because I was watching these effects and I'm like, these are bad.
They could afford better ones than. The effects are they're bad, but they're perfectly serviceable.
Yeah, they're good for the 90s. Like this is better than the movie Spawn.
Yeah, they're good enough so that it's like you can still tell what's going on and it doesn't look completely stupid.
It occurred to me I was watching What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show.
Hell yeah.
And they have an ogre in a scene, a troll. And the special effects is like better than Jurassic Park. And it was like, how amazing is it that like a TV like
a sitcom,
comedy,
a 30-minute sitcom.
Yeah. And so it's just looking at this, I'm like, surely they have the ability. Like commercials have better effects than this.
Yeah.
They must know, like, no, don't. That it's part of the point.
Yeah, I'm sure that's part of it. They also, I'm pretty sure, because they crank out dozens of these. It's probably just a formula that somebody has. Like, we can only spend X amount of money on this movie for it to be profitable. So there is a firm ceiling on our special effects.
Yeah.
Ape versus Monster, man. What do you want?
Ape versus Monster.
It's gonna be great. Oh, all right. Well, let's move out of trailers then. Let's talk about news stories. But first, we have some more patrons to thank.
Oh, my God.
Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terrestrial. Thank you to Cody Johnston's time machine noise.
Of course.
Always a pleasure. Thanks to Pete for Pagel. Thank you. Thank you to Glitterous. Thank you, Glitterous. Thank you to Thanks for having Jason Pargin on. Here's $25.
Woo.
Thank you for that. Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight. Thank you to Exploding Runes. Thank you to Andrew. How? Thank you to Vincent. Thank you to Rev MD. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, let me jump on in here. Thank you to John Muniz. Thank you to Wavy Rancheros.
Thank you
to Dr. DNA.
Oh, he's a doctor. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's moving on up. Lauren Gucci, thank you. Thank you to James Rainey. Bootler Bootlerson, couldn't have done it without you. Thanks to Grumblebee.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you to Tux. Ricky Cilantro, thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks to Norm from Cheers.
Norm.
So the Oscars.
Yeah, I completely missed them. Did anybody watch them?
No. Did you, Dan?
I did not watch them.
I don't even know who won. I know Anthony Hopkins won. That's the only one I know.
That's certainly the one to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I had other things going on that Sunday, so I was just not interested in watching the Oscars. And my only engagement with it was a buddy of mine who's like a full-blown degenerate gambler was like, gave me a list of who, gambling-wise, were odds-on favorites for a lot of these things. And he was like, do you have any take for someone who will upset the odds-on favorite? And I said, Frances McDormand's going to win. And he made a nice little payout from that. That's my sole involvement with the Oscars, is helping a gambler make money on one race in this whole...
Yeah. And, like, that's a really... That's a good bet. Frances McDormand, of course she's going to win. Yeah. I haven't even seen Nomadland. That's the winner of Best Picture. I need to see it. I've been wanting to see it. It's just very gray, Yeah. And it's just like, this is going to take a lot out of me.
I felt that way about a lot of movies this year, where and shows too that just look gray and depressing. And it's like, yeah, I guess I could watch Nomadland. No one is smiling at any of these trailers. I need someone to. I'm gonna just watch Minari again because sometimes people smile. Let's do that.
I have to watch Minari. I saw Mank. I saw Judas and the Black Messiah. I saw Sound of Metal, and I saw The Trial of the Chicago 7, which I'm very happy that didn't get anything. That's the one that is just like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Trial of the Chicago 7?
What is this?
Speak on that, because
Did you see it?
Let's see. What's the best way into this reveal? How many times do you think I saw it this year?
Oh, okay. 4.
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
I really thought you were going to guess like a normal number, but 4.
No.
I acknowledge that 4 is too many times to see a movie that's not my favorite movie in a single year. But
here's the thing about Sorkin.
That's a lot of times.
Okay, thank you, Tom. I needed some acknowledgement that what I did was weird and bad and wrong.
That is too many times to watch an Aaron Sorkin movie.
No, well, all right. I've watched The American President probably once every 6 months my life. Yeah, because Sorkin he's political fantasy, and like I love that. And that's the thing. The Trial of the Chicago 7 is like a Sorkin parody. The ending 30 seconds made me burst into laughter.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because it was so Sorkin. And that's what I mean is that, like, I do enjoy watching Sorkin. I don't think he needs an award.
No.
I think he makes kind of schlocky political things. And that's the thing, is that, like, he can be enjoyed. I enjoy a lot of what he does with that knowledge of, like, this is so idealistic and naive most of the time. The stuff that he does. That's all.
I agree. And I think there are plenty of things that he's very bad at writing. And if you suggest that, then he's just going to try to prove you wrong. And it's really embarrassing and bad. But I think Chicago 7 was pretty much right in his lane of like, let's get too many very bright white men to give speeches one after the other. And then someone was like, there's actually like famously a person of color involved in this too. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of him pretty quickly.
Let's not hear from
and
him.
Then go back to the thing that I'm good at. And it's like, yeah, Aaron Sorkin writing important white men with important white ideas, giving very long speeches. That is exactly what he's great at. And I'm not going to pretend that I don't fall for it every time he does it. Because he is very highfalutin, and it is fantasy sequence. It's always like, wouldn't it be great if people talked like this? And there's a part of it that's like, yeah, that would be great if people talked like this. And wouldn't it be great if a speech was enough to change people's minds? It's like, yeah, it would. I think that's really neat. And I know it's unrealistic, but like I'm a dumb idealistic child in his stupid fucking high horse hands, and I'm just a sucker for it, and I love it. I like a guy giving a speech, and then the other guys are like, his speech was better than my speech.
Right.
He wins. Yeah. He wins today.
I agree. It's just that, like, if someone was like when you look at these Best Picture nominees, and you also see Judas and the Black Messiah, it's just like, no, that's the one to watch. Yeah. Like, if you're gonna watch anything about like protest and the law and dealing with this sort of stuff, it's like go ahead and do that one, because that's gonna give you a more, I don't know, realistic portrayal.
It's definitely a great companion piece when Chicago 7 ends with Frank Langella banging that gavel and screaming for order while the whole world claps in his face and doesn't listen to him and like celebrates this great progressive liberal victory. And it's like, okay, that was fun. Did you like that? And then we're putting on Judas and the Black Messiah now. Now you have to watch this.
It was like, this was like 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, that's the thing. That ending of Chicago 7 didn't happen. I looked it up to make sure. Like, I knew it didn't happen. I knew it didn't happen, but I looked it up, and it didn't happen at all. And it's like, of course not. Yeah, it literally ends with, and then everybody clapped. It's like, I can't fucking believe this.
Can I ask you...
Also, Sound of Metal, people should watch.
Sound of Metal
That's
rules.
a great movie.
Can I ask you a screenwriter question?
Sure.
Does it bug you that Aaron Sorkin just, like, literally repeats himself? I'm totally fine and here for artists who, like, thematically and ideologically repeat themselves, and like Fitzgerald can tell the same story over and over again with different names, and I'm fine with that. But there are like actual lines of dialogue that Sorkin repeats, and it's in a I don't really know how to feel about it or why.
You mean like repeats himself from movie to movie, right? Not in the same movie.
Oh yes, forgive me. Yes, from movie to movie and from show to movie too. Like there are like the this one features woman from Succession saying that thing about French people and their eggs, because one egg is enough. That's like a cheesy joke that they tell in the movie that is also a line from West Wing. And there are, I think, like 3 or 4 other lines from this movie that Sorkin has repeated in his other works throughout time. And like you can find Sorkinisms as like collected together in helpful YouTube compilations. Yeah. And it's just a thing that like
comps,
I don't know. I like if a director is sort of subtly winking at one of his properties. I feel a little strange when it's like literally a line of dialogue that is just being repeated over and over again. And I guess I'm just curious about both of your thoughts on this.
I think could it be one of two things? Like sometimes I think certain writers do it. I think Kevin Smith does it often, where it's like it's all the same universe in their mind, and they like repeating jokes or like doing homages almost. But they're like Kevin Smith usually doesn't repeat jokes. Well, no, that's not true. He absolutely does. But like sometimes it's like throwaway lines here and there, and I think sometimes it feels like ego. Other times I wonder if that they've written so much.
Yeah.
That like I think about writing articles at Cracked, and it's like surely I repeated jokes without even thinking
I know
of
for
it.
a fact I must have repeated jokes by now. Yeah, I think we all have probably done it.
But I've made tweets where I'll do searches right before I send the tweet and realize that I tweeted it already like 2 years ago, and be like, oh, okay, never mind.
I guess it's possible he forgets. There's something like there's a line. I don't know if it's in Chicago 7. I can't remember, but it's someone talking to another person and says, "Don't talk to me like I'm other people," and it's like famously used in The West Wing between the president and the first lady, and it's a line that really resonated with me because I think it's a good line. I think it speaks to like an intimacy that two people share that does a lot of work with those characters that I really appreciated. And when I hear it pop up in a bunch of his other properties, I genuinely think like, did he think so too? Like, did he write down, "Don't talk to me like I'm other people," and then just like, oof, that's good. I'm not going to just burn it once. I'm going to get some mileage out of this one.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And like,
I don't know. And they just assume like, no one's paying that much attention or something.
I guess there's no law against it. There's no law that says Aaron Sorkin's not allowed to like reuse lines of his that he likes. Just seems weird.
He's the one that I've noticed it the most with, just because there are so many different YouTube compilations that just show them back to back. You're like, wow, this is pretty egregious. But I tend to not really. I don't get upset at artists for repeating themselves primarily because I recognize that kind of we all do it. I know I've done it. I must have. So I try not to get too upset's not even the right word. I try not to be too critical of that, even though I do think it's very funny that Aaron Sorkin, of all people, is extremely guilty of this.
Right.
And we just keep giving him Oscar nominations. It's like he's like 40% of this script he wrote, like 10 years ago on The West Wing.
He's nominated for original screenplay. this was nominated. I don't know, man. We seem like we've the things that won and stuff. It all feels pretty proper. Like all the things that won seem like they deserve to win, so that's good. Except Tenet won Best Special Effects, and I don't know. Sure.
What should have won Best Special Effects?
I'm not sure, honestly. It's just Tenet didn't strike me as having many visual effects.
It doesn't, by Nolan's admission.
Yeah.
It
doesn't have very many
not
visual
even
effects.
Practical effects. It's a stunt movie, more than anything. So, like, they just like reverse the film a lot of the time. It's like, well, shit, I can do that. So yeah, I don't know. Mulan's on there. That's the only other one I saw. So I guess I'll vote for Mulan.
Mulan didn't look that great either.
Yeah. Sound of Metal got all the technical like sound and editing,
as well
and
it should have,
that checks out.
Yeah.
Ma Rainey got makeup and hairstyling. Mank got cinematography, and it's like, yep, perfect.
Yeah.
Ma Rainey also got the costume design. Like, that's what I mean. In terms of technical awards, for the most part, they all got what they deserved. And I wish I could speak on directing and Best Picture because I haven't seen that movie.
Right.
So, but I have to. Soul got animated film.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because of course it did.
Yeah.
I do always like when there are like surprising moments. I don't know why, but it's I mean, I do know why. Surprise is fun. But for everything else that happened in the award ceremony, the fact that they very clearly structured this award ceremony different than any Academy Awards that I can remember, because they really thought we're going to close with Chadwick Boseman winning this award, and there's going to be a moving tribute to him, and that's like the greatest way we could conceive of ending this thing. And then no-show Anthony Hopkins wins, surprising everybody. And then we end with Joaquin Phoenix being like, he's not here, we're accepting on his behalf. Okay, everyone get home safe. And then Questlove is like, everyone, this was fun. Thanks for coming out. Goodbye. It's like we can talk till we're blue in the face about like who actually should have won the award. I don't know where everyone lands on that idea, but just at a concept level, they made the plan because they thought the awards were going to go one way, and then they didn't go that way. And then we got this like one of a kind, very natural and organic moment, I guess, in a genre of entertainment that doesn't really have spontaneous, real, organic moments anymore.
It's perfect because, like, you know you made a mistake. I like him as an actor, but you know you've made a mistake where you're left with Joaquin Phoenix on stage talking, and you're like, oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We got Joaquin on stage. Because he is, every speech he gives, he's like an awkward weirdo.
Yeah, it's really like, let's make sure, who do we want on stage last? Who's like a born showman who loves the glitz and glamour of awards ceremonies? Who can we get?
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix. That's Joaquin.
Remember his rambling Best Actor acceptance speech from last year when he equated eating meat to racism? Yeah, let's get him back up there to talk
more
some
of
more.
that. Yeah, I mean, that's good. I still, the winner for me is when La La Land
Yeah.
lost, because that was just like perfect for me, because La La Land represented, that's the other side of the Oscars where it's them all patting themselves on the back. Not that that's necessarily a bad movie, but like, you know, Mank was this year's La La Land, where it's like, Hollywood, we're the best. And that getting fucking just stopped in its tracks for Moonlight, and it was like, fuck, that is cathartic.
It's the greatest thing in the world that the producer who gave the speech for La La Land, and I don't want to hold much against him because I don't know what I would do in that moment if I saw the envelope and realized that I didn't win.
Yeah.
But like, I probably wouldn't give my planned speech. And that's so funny to me. It's so funny that he did his acceptance speech and then closed with, "Oh, by the way, we didn't win."
It would have been amazing if they like grabbed the awards, tried to get out of the building as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Just race them over to the engraver.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Well, we have one other news story. I knew we were going to talk about the Oscars for a while. Citizen Kane lost its fresh rating.
Yeah, whatever.
This was just trending for a while. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, tell me, does that matter?
No,
not at all.
Okay, good.
It's extremely funny. Also, I will say they deserved it because it was an 80-year-old review. It wasn't like some new critic. They just like went back and was like, "Oh, we missed one." All right. Never mind. And it's like, I guess what it is I really like, I hope that I doubt the reviewer is still alive, but like, good for them. Good for that one person who was like, Dave, it stinks. Fuck it.
Dave, nobody. Oh my gosh. I don't think anybody who was involved with that movie is still alive.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said, Tom, I doubt it.
It was 80 years ago.
I highly doubt it, okay? Okay, Tom?
Oh,
I don't know. What if the reviewer was 10?
I mean, that's true. How long did Kirk Douglas? He's 100 shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting into that Star Trek world where people are like 120. We're getting there. But yeah, that's what a great job as a critic. I don't know. That's I'm happy. I'm happy for that critic.
Sure.
That's all.
Why not?
Yeah. All right, well that's it for stories. We got some more producers to thank.
Let's do it.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, thank you to Space McNulty. Woo. Thank you very much. Thank you to Hiram.
Wait, I have to pause this. You know what sucks shit?
What's that?
What sucks shit?
Is that we have a shared Google Doc that we look at that has all the topics, and Space McNulty shows up under the heading Movies That Deserve More Hype. So I thought there was some kind of Space McNulty movie.
That's it's
shame.
Called John Carter.
That's true.
And also briefly Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
that's right.
is two Space McNultys.
He is in Phantom Menace for about 2 seconds.
That is a shocker.
It really is, because they show him like he's framed up as like a featured extra for one shot. So it's like they want you to see fucking McNulty in space in Phantom Menace.
Shocking.
You know what blew my mind recently is
Maya
Rudolph pops up as a cop in As Good as It Gets.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that movie since 1996.
Oh, man, that movie's
awesome.
awesome.
Also has, it's got Skeet Ulrich in there, too.
Yeah, Jamie Kennedy is his drugged-out buddy.
Beating up Greg Kinnear and robbing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a weird movie.
That movie
awesome.
is buck wild. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I want to watch it now.
James L. Brooks, right?
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Hiram. Thank you to Hiram. Thank you to Oh Great, It's That Guy. Thank you to Nolan Mayton. Thank you to Normal Man, Andrew McGuire. Thank you to Ozzy. Thank you to AJ. Thank you to Tip Drizzle. Thank you to Frank Lee Amish.
I want to say a few. I want to thank.
Get in there. Get in there.
Burrito Mouth. I want to thank Mrs. Voidus. I want to thank the ghost of Dave Thomas. I want to thank Aaron Burr, sir, always a supporter. I want to thank David Knife Boot Hinson, MBA, CPA. I want to thank Christopher.
You go. You do it.
Okay.
You're the guest.
I want to thank
Finish this up.
Christopher Robert Sparts, Esquire. I want to thank Mackenzie, Righteous Hand of the Lizard People, Chill. I want to thank Funky J, and I love to thank Pie Guy.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah, Darren Aronofsky, longtime supporter.
Yeah.
Dave.
What?
What? I'm not going to do this dance this week.
All right.
Just tell us what the goddamn movie is.
You want to know? I want to know. This is
What's the movie that deserves more hype?
This is called Labyrinth of Cinema. Shout out to Katie Willer, who's absolutely going to love this. This is a movie that is coming out April 27th on some streaming service I never heard of, Mubi.
Yeah.
MUBI. It is directed, and in fact, it's the final film directed by, let's pronounce this right, Nobuhiko Obayashi. Otherwise known as the director of Hausu. If anybody knows that film, they know why they need to watch this. It is a 3-hour-long film.
Nope.
About a couple of teenagers who travel back in time to Nagasaki before the bomb goes off. So that's It's gonna be real bad. Oh, sorry, no, Hiroshima. My bad. So that's wild. Dan, have you seen Hausu?
I have not. No.
I mentioned Katie Willert because she loves Hausu. It is a very unique movie from the 70s. When you watch it, you can tell it inspired the likes of like Sam Raimi. It's really hard to describe. I would say just look at the trailer. It looks very similar to this trailer. This is apparently, again, 3 hours long. He made it when he was after being diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer.
Right. As I'm reading, he made this film as he was actively dying.
Yes. And it's going to be out like now. I just realized April 27th, that's the past.
Yeah. That was earlier this week. This movie is available.
This is available right now. It's Labyrinth of Cinema.
It's available on Mubi, M-U-B-I, which is that's the website that I'm on right now because I've never heard of it in my life. And I've been tooling around on it since you started talking, and I am not entirely sure what it is. It just keeps talking about how it has the only the best movies. Beautiful, interesting, incredible movies.
Yeah. This isn't for everyone, nor was Hausu. It's a pretty batshit movie, but it's some of the most creative filmmaking out there, I think. Mm-hmm. He's not afraid of doing really weird stuff. And like again, it feels like it feels like inspired a lot of directors that people love. And so this is I consider this movie important because it's his last film.
Okay.
And I don't you guys watched the trailer. You probably didn't get much from the trailer in terms of what it's about.
I got interesting because there's a page break where you put this in, you drop in the link, and then you say, without looking the name up, can you guess who directed this? And then there's a page break before you tell us. So I clicked on the trailer and watched it, and I was like, this is the guy that made House. Like, you can absolutely tell. It looks...
Yeah.
There's the same kind of surreal quality to it. There's a lot of in-camera stuff. There's a lot of weird compositing. It seems just barely linear, kind of like how Sue was.
Yeah.
It looks like this is gonna be a real glorious nightmare of a movie, I think.
Yeah, because it didn't even occur to me that he's still making movies and that he's making movies with like modern effects, which from what I've heard of this movie doesn't look very modern, but of course it doesn't. That's his style.
Right.
Like a lot of his effects in Hausu is very like Gilliam-esque, like Monty Python Gilliam Animation X, where like he, instead of having blood, he just like paints it onto the frame and stuff like that. But it works really well because it's a consistent style throughout.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait to see what he does with like, modern equipment.
Yeah. And speaking of equipment, you can all watch this right now at Mubi.com or on your very own Moob TV. Or if you don't have Moob TV, you can go to Moob.com and Moobcast it, or plug in your Moob stick. I'm having a lot of fun with this silly website, and I know you said a lot of other words, and I hope you felt good saying them because I am just hung up on Mubi and nothing else.
Well, it's one of those where it's like it sounds like a spoof of a streaming service, right?
Right. This sounds like a phishing scam.
Yeah.
Yes. I've never heard of it. I'm sorry to everyone who gets a virus because they're trying to watch this movie, but you got to watch it on Mubi. You can try 7 days free according to the website that I just clicked on. So yeah, check it out. That's it. That's my pitch for the Labyrinth of Cinema. It seems like an appropriate name considering what the trailer is.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be batshit, guys.
At the very, very least. Oh man.
You can gift Mubi.
Guys, we did it.
I can give Mubi as a gift.
Yeah.
Only $29.99 for 3 months. Fuck off.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, what?
$29.99 for 3 months.
Oh, Mubi.
$80 for a year of Mubi.
Wait till this is on Amazon, because it will be, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Good God.
Everything ends up on Amazon eventually.
It's going around festivals right now, and this is just the soonest you can see it, is on Mubi. I don't know. Maybe Mubi's amazing. Who can say? I don't want to diss Mubi, you guys.
That's fair.
Mubi has Malmkrog.
All right.
Malmkrog came out in 2020. Malmkrog on Mubi. I'm having a fucking blast.
Yeah, that's
learning all this stuff today.
Strong endorsement for Mubi.
Ooh, it does have the Terry Gilliam film Tideland. So if you want to have a blast watching Tideland,
yeah, we're preparing our listeners for a very specific afternoon.
Yeah,
of watching Tideland and then fucking Labyrinth of Cinema. That's a sode. We did it, guys.
We did it. Oh my goodness.
Daniel, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's such a blast.
Yeah, man. What do you want to tell people, if anything?
If you're listening to this show, I assume it's because you like podcasts, so you can check out a podcast that I do with my best friend and former coworker. He's a current writer for American Dad, Soren Bowie. Our show is called Quick Question with Soren and Daniel, QQ with Sad. It is a tremendous waste of time that we secretly love doing. And you can check it out anywhere that podcasts live.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good. It's chill. It's like I don't know. It's just a fun time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So people check it out.
Yeah.
I guess I should tell people about our Patreon as well, right, Tom?
Probably.
All right. If you go to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, you can find exclusive podcasts there, like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac, and a brand new show we're doing with the gentleman at Small Beans, Star Trek: The Next Futurama. That is a shared show between us and Small Beans. We each get an episode a month, so check that out.
We also have a store, tpublic.com/store/gamefullyunemployed, where you get t-shirts, masks, mugs, stickers, posters, all kinds of things. So check that out. Or don't. I don't know. Get that. Get your movie subscription.
Everybody get your movies.
Oh yeah. Do you guys ever do like contests or giveaways? Or is there like a stretch goal? I want to gift someone. I want to shell out $80 to give someone a year of Mubi.
The first person to tag all three of us in a tweet sharing this episode. How's that?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100,000%. You're gonna get
a year of Mubi.
And if you say something like, "That's really generous, but can I just have the $80 that would go to the subscription?" No, you cannot. You're getting a year of Mubi, and if you sass me again, you're getting 2. You fucking idiot.
Enjoy Tideland, you piece of shit. All right, say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.